Hello everyone, my name is LInh from University of Languages and International Studies. Today, on behalf of my research groups, including Nguyễn Minh and Nguyễn Thanh Thủy, and me, all of us come from University of Languages and International Studies. On behalf of my groups, today it's my great honor to be here to give you a short presentation on our research paper, which is about the student readiness for online learning, a study in ULIS VNU. There are 4 sections in my presentation. The first part is the literature review, where I will give the definition of some key terms in my research, and also I will present some relevant study, the prior studies, and also identify the research gaps between those studies and the realities. And that will also explain for the reasons why we need to conduct this research paper. The second part is about methodology, when we will identify the research design, the data collection tool, and the data processing method that we used to analyze the data that we collected. The next part is the results, which will it will be the place for us to show our results after we conducted different methods of collecting data, and the discussion and conclusion, which is the last part, is the place where we will analyze all of the data, correlate these pieces of information with other research, and then we will give the conclusion. So let's come to the first part, is about the literature review. So in our literature review, there are 6 keywords will be defined. The first one is online learning. Second one is student readiness for online learning, which will be measured using the TAM model. The next one is the efficiency expectation for online learning, the efforts expectation for online learning, learner attitudes toward online learning, and the technological skills for online learning. So let's go into the details about the definitions of the keywords. So what is online learning? According to Moser et al. In 2016, online learning is a learning method to create an interactive learning environment with the assistance of computers and the internet. And it can help students to learn in a flexible time and place, according to Baitier in 2018. And actually, with other definitions, the tools that are listed to assist the process of online learning has been expanded, not just computers and the internet, but also other technological devices such as smartphone or tablets. So what is about the student readiness for online learning? The researchers agree that we cannot make sure that the online learning is effective if we cannot find out about the student readiness. Or in other words, we can only ensure the effectiveness of these online courses if we can make sure that the students are totally ready for this type of learning. So that's why student readiness for online learning plays a very important role in guarantee the quality of online teaching. There are numerous elements about the elements that decide the student readiness. For example, the access to technological platform, the technological skill, etc. However, we believe that we cannot conduct this research successfully if we don't have a framework to assess the student readiness. So that's why we use the TAM model. The TAM model indicates that there are 4 different factors that affect the student readiness for online learning. The first factor is the efficiency expectation for online learning. This is the expectation for the usefulness of technological usage. Student expectation, which high level, will help them to make it easier for them to recognize the advantages of online platform, then they are likely to foster their perceived usefulness. The second factor is the efforts expectation for online learning, which is the learner belief of ease for employing technology. And student or learners having these factors will expect to save time from online learning due to easy online software application. Another factors that affect the effectiveness or the readiness of students for online learning is their own attitudes toward the online learning. Attitudes is defined in Liu Research in 2020 to have a positive association with human behavior, and the student attitudes to have a direct impact on their learning participation will help them to become more ready for the online learning. Last but not least, the last but the most important factors that are affecting the student readiness is the technological skills for online learning. These skills require students to use proficiently the media application, the computer software, emails, and video-based social interaction to study all the time. And these technological skills can affect the student capacities in fulfilling their personal learning tasks and also the student and instructor interaction. So when we create this research, we intended to use the quantitative research because all the theories related to the matter have been built up very carefully. So we want to testify these theories instead of building new ones. So that's why we decided to use the quantitative research, because quantitative research can help us to justify or testify the theories in reality. In order to conduct a quantitative research, we need to build some research hypotheses, and there are 4 different hypotheses is used. The first one is the student effectiveness. Expectation have positive influence on their readiness for online learning. Student efforts expectation have positive effect on their readiness for online learning. Student attitude with online learning has positive influence on their acceptance. And student technological skill have positive effect on their readiness for online learning. So about the methodology, we'll focus on the 3 main minor parts, which are the participants, the data collection, and data analysis. The participants of this research are all the first-year students, and they have they have already experienced the online learning when they study in grade 12. So they have sufficient experience and knowledge to become the participants of the research. And the data is collected through the use of online survey questionnaires, which is helpful for participants in remote locations. And the questionnaire includes 40 questions, 35 for independent, 1 independent variable, and they all use the 5-point Likert scale, and 5 for the respondent demographic information for other descriptive analysis. And the data analysis is conducted with the help of SPSS software version 26, and we use the descriptive statistic for demographic information, and we use referring statistics such as scale reliability, exploratory factor analysis, EFA, correlation, and regression to analyze the data quantitatively. And you can see from the result of the research, all of these 4 factors have very ranging from around more than 2 until nearly 4. And the standard deviation is mostly around 9 to 1.1, which means that there is a greater variance in the answers of the participants. And now let's talk about the quality of the scale. And the first standard that we use to evaluate the quality of the scale is reliability. And reliability, we will use the Constract alpha values coefficient to find out whether they are really reliable or not. And the results show us that on these 4 constructs have very good level of reliability, which is all more than 0.8. And the corrected item total correction of all the items in the questionnaire is valid, which means it's more than 0.3. And about the quality of the skill, or another quality of the skill, another standard to evaluate the quality of the skill, which is the validity. And to find out whether the questionnaire is valid or not, we conducted exploratory analysis for independent variables. And you can see there are some, they have formed different groups of independents, and the cumulative percentage is 62.883%, which means these four factors can explain nearly 63% of all the variables that related to this issue. And we also conducted multiple linear regression. The result you can see is only attitudes have a negative correlation with the student readiness, while the technological skill, the efforts, expectancy, and the and then the effectiveness, expectancy also have, all of them have a positive correlation with the student readiness for online learning. And this is the correlation. The correlation show that the attitudes and the student acceptance has a negative correlation, while the effectiveness, expectation, effort, expectation, and technological skill have a negative correlation. Or in other words, technological skills, effective expectations, and efforts expectations have a positive influence on the student acceptance, while the attitudes have a negative impact on the student acceptance. About the discussion and conclusion, there are 4 different factors that have been identified to influence the student readiness for online learning. The first, the effectiveness expectation, effort expectation, and technological skills all have positive impact on the student readiness, while the attitude towards online learning has a negative impact on the student readiness. And in order to increase the student readiness for online learning, we need to help the student to recognize the efficiency of the online learning, so that we can change the student attitudes and make them more engaged in this online learning, studying better. So that is all about our presentation, and this is a references list. And I hope that if you have any questions for our research, please contact me through the email that I have included in the proceedings of the conference. And I wish you all good health and happiness in your life. Thank you very much for your time and attention.